Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out RV Daydream. I'm outside working because it's beautiful outside, and I want to get some stuff done because I think we might be going camping.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream. Alright, so I'm in the messy garage, and let me see if I can cover everything that's going on. First of all, I'm in the process of shooting a video as far as putting the micro air soft starts up on the RV. I've got to wait till Heidi comes home, and I think it might rain later today because she don't want me up there by myself. She loves me. That's great. I mean, she cares about what's happening as far as health-wise. More than that, she knows what a big baby I am whenever I get hurt. I just lay around and yell, Heidi, come adjust my pillows. Not really. It's not that bad. Or maybe it is. So I'm putting that off to the side. I did give a call to Champion Generator, and I talked to them about the generator not running that 15,000 BTU. Even though I only have 127 hours on the generator, I told him, I said, hey, it's a brand new unit, and maybe it's because of tightness or something, and he didn't seem to think so. He said it should run that unit. So what he told me to do is, now that I'm over 100 hours, to make a valve adjustment. And he said there's an online video, which there is, and the guy's he explains everything. It's very clear on why you should adjust the valves and how they work and everything else. But I was just going to show you on these little inverter generators specifically what it looks like, because he's showing you on a bigger open frame generator. And there's a couple things that might be a little bit different. Right, so this kind of reminds me of my old YouTube channel, or my other YouTube channel, where I always seem to be doing repair videos on small engines. But in this case, it's pretty straightforward. There's going to be 10mm headed bolts that you're going to remove this valve cover. And at that point, you'll see two valves. This is the oil drain plug, or believe it or not. You would disconnect this hose and put this hose out, and the oil comes out of the engine. I like that they have that there. I've got a rag here just in case of any residue. Also, you can unplug this, or you can take this out if you want. You can leave it in. It's a vacuum hose. It all depends how the valve cover falls whenever I take all these bolts out. Okay, so I just have one long bolt. Seems like the upper left bolt is a little bit longer, and it might be because it has to hold something else down. I'm not sure. But once those are loose, you might have to tap the valve cover to break it loose from its gasket. There is a gasket here. Usually you can save the gaskets if you're careful. I don't know how careful that was, that I was using my wrench to pound it, but let's see what it looks like here. Oh yeah, this is a decent gasket. It's a rubberized cork gasket that they're utilizing, so not a big deal there. It doesn't look like any oil's come out, but I haven't run this for a little bit. So now, as far as the valve adjustment, this was kind of shocking to me to hear what he had said, but they do their valve adjustment a little bit different. Yeah, it's kind of odd. I've never done that before, to where you make sure that one valve's completely compressed and then you adjust the valve on the other. Usually what you do is you make sure that the, it's at, I don't know, closed, that the valve's completely closed, and then at that point you check the adjustment. But this one, they say they want the other one to be completely compressed. Yep, that's it. Okay, so now I'm going to put my feeler gauge behind here. I'll show you what that looks like, and measure, make sure it's 4/1000ths. These are feeler gauges. Nothing exciting. They're just thin pieces of metal that are a certain width. That's all that there is to it. It's a certain width. So let's go ahead and go behind here and see what we got. That's perfect. Yeah, you should be able to put it in here and feel a slight drag whenever you pull it out. Now, because of angles and stuff like that, you want to screw around with it a little bit, because you can find that sometimes you move it just right and it's like really loose, and then other times it's kind of stiff. But that's a pretty damn good adjustment there. Okay, so we know that one's good. So now what we're going to do is compress this one and make that one slack, so I can check that one. Yep, that is definitely it. Okay, so let's check that one real quick. Make sure the adjustment on this one's good. And voila, it's perfect. It's dragging perfect. There's no adjustment that's needed on either one of these. So that's pretty much it for the valve adjustment. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on. Again, for whatever reason, there was one bolt here. Definitely inspect your valve cover gasket. Make sure that it looks pretty good all the way around. But I'm going to put that one long bolt up here. Again, I'm not sure why there's a long bolt here. It could be something that maybe somebody screwed up when they assembled it, and they put one on that they shouldn't have. It's hard telling. Maybe a little bump, okay, that's perfect. So I say, right? I'm going to go ahead and pull the spark plug out. I'm going to take a look at it, make sure it looks okay all the way around, and then at that point, I think I might change the oil. It's about time to change the oil. I'm going to look at the air filter and then put all this back together and just run it up. All right, so I've got the Champion generator out, and I ran it after I did the oil change there and the valve adjustment and all that stuff on this thing. Changed the spark plug, and it still would not run the 15,000 BTU AC. So with everything shut off on the RV, I went ahead and tried the Atima that I did a review on not that long ago, and it's running it. It's doing a good job, and it's definitely quiet. Man, it's just a different tone. I don't know what to think about that. But it doesn't run on propane, and you know how I feel about that. I really like that Champion because it runs on propane. But I wanted to try it out and to make sure there wasn't an issue. I had to drive and go get an adapter for it though, because Atima don't have a travel trailer plug on it. Never understood why manufacturers do that. However, we're running the air inside here. It was 93, and now it's 81, so it's doing a good job. It is blowing right down onto that though. So I don't have very much gas in that generator. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. System off. It should shut everything off. There we go. So we know that the Champion might have something going on there, and let me tell you what I found out. I found out what I knew already, and that's Champion's pretty awesome. I mean, they really are. I remember when I first bought that Champion generator, we went to the trip to Florida. It was in the back of our F-250, and because of just my stupidity, the propane connection, the built-in regulator with the hose that they give you so it runs on propane with that quick disconnect, I had it up against the bed rail of my truck, even though it was in the cap. It was, protected for the most part, and it was secured, but just the slight vibration of driving down the road for 2,900 miles wore a spot on that hose. Now, it didn't go into it didn't put a hole in the hose, it just wore it. It wore it in about 4 different spots. And I called them up and I asked if there was any chance that I could buy one of those hoses. I asked them how much does that cost, and I can't remember what they told me. Some reason I thought like $34 came to mind, something like that. And I said, well, I need to order one because I screwed up, and I told them the whole story, and they sent it out to me for free. They sent me another one for free. And I was not angling for that at all. I mean, I just needed to fix what I screwed up, basically. And he said, it's one of those things that maybe it could have been better protected, and that they're going to go ahead and send it out to us to me to make me happy, which it did. So now that I'm having an issue with this thing starting the 15,000 BTU AC in here, I started to think about it, and I gave him a call today and talked to the tech line, and I spoke with Todd up there originally, and real nice guy. He told me to go ahead and check my valve adjustment because I was over 100 hours, and that's something that needs to be done, and also check my spark arrestor. So I went ahead and pulled the spark arrestor out, cleaned it up real well, put that all back together, and then I checked the valve adjustment. It was dead on. There was no issue there. After I did that, I changed the spark plug, and while I was at it, I pulled the air filter out, checked it, made sure there was nothing going on there, and it all looked good. And then I went ahead and changed the oil. It's been about probably 40 hours since I changed the oil, and I've got full synthetic in there, and I went ahead and put full synthetic in there again. And of course, at that point, started up, ran it, let it warm up, run for a little while, and then I tried to run the 15,000 BTU AC again, and it just won't do it. It tries to, it stumbles, and then it kicks off, it overloads. So what I'm going to do is I might hold off. I think I may hold off for those micro air soft starts until I get the Champion up to par. And how am I going to do that? Well, because Champion is awesome. Those guys are great. I spoke with Paul the second time when I called back and said, listen, I spoke with Todd earlier. He said, hey, Todd's kind of tied up. You can wait for him or you can talk with me. And I said, sure, I'll talk with you. And he went through a bunch of questions, and I said, listen, I have my Atima generator running my 15,000 BTU air conditioner, and it's only 3,000 watts, and I don't have any issues at all. It kicks it on. Even when fan's on high, it starts it up. And it runs on econo mode too. I don't even have to have it on full mode. And after we verified, that I didn't have the battery charger on, or I didn't have the refrigerator on electric. I didn't have the hot water tank element on electric. Nothing else was running in here basically. He said that he would go ahead and send me a control unit for the Champion. Of course, he asked if I was able to, mechanically inclined to do it, and I told him, I'm a small engine mechanic. I'm actually, believe it or not, I have a certification. I'm a generator mechanic too. I don't have any experience whatsoever though with inverter generators. Everything I did was with open frame contractor style generators, Briggs and Stratton, Generac, some of the Hondas, but most of them not. There was just a few Hondas. But open frame, regular old generators, ones that are not inverter, I actually know how to fix darn near everything on there. I don't know how many rotors and armatures I've replaced on those things over the years in the shop that I worked at. But yeah, we used to work on quite a few of them. But I told him, sure, I could fix it. And he says, okay, I'm going to send you out this control panel. Now, I'm going to remind you guys that I bought this generator 2 years ago. It was April of 2017. And of course, there's really no warranty on it at this point. But this guy is going to send me, Paul, out at Champion, he's going to send me this control unit to put on. Because he says sometimes those control units, if they get bumped around and stuff, it could be that there might be an issue with it. And I was shocked. I was totally shocked because those control units, that's the main baby on those things. That's $170 or $200 in that range for that unit. If you made it fail yourself, that's a big chunk, considering that the generator was only like $1,000. I mean, you're talking 1/5 of the price whenever you get to $200. So that makes me feel so much better about Champion. I shouldn't say much better. I felt great about them in the first place. So I can't wait to get that and install it. And then I'll see if it'll run this 15,000 BTU AC at that point without the micro air. And I'm kind of caught in the middle here because I really like to install them for the fact we're going to the campground and we can learn. We can make them learn. But, oh well, we'll go from there. So Heidi's at home. I got to go in and do some work, and we'll tack this on to another day. Let's see what happens in 3, 2, 1. New day, that's what's up. So another great day. It's going to be raining a little bit later, and I made a decision. I'm going to go ahead and install those micro air soft starts, and then we'll work on the Champion generator whenever that stuff comes in. Maybe there's some way I can test it, maybe on another unit. But yeah, it's a beautiful day. I definitely got to go get the trash can though. I hate that being out by the road. Sometimes the trash man leaves it open after he empties it, and people think it's a public dumpster. I've seen people throwing stuff in it. Look at those cattails, how big they've gotten. We had an old Jeep over there too. That's kind of cool, huh? So yeah, we're going to get up on that roof today, and we're going to screw around with those AC units. Even though Heidi's not home, I told her, I said, I have no choice. And it's because we're going to go camping. I actually go camping. We've got a big announcement coming up on one of our next videos. Yeah, we're going to be leaving here to go camping. Local, not real far away. And guess what? I got news about my cap. The window is packaged and will be shipped on the truck for the dealer to get it approximately next week. And at that point, yep, you got it. I got to drive the truck up there. Before I do, of course, I got to clean all this crap off and then they're going to install the window for me. Finally. But I do have to drive it with it looking like this first. Oh well. This is one of the options that I wanted for the truck. Now, not in this case, but I left the keys in the house, and you can unlock the truck, you can start the truck, you can do all kinds of stuff from your phone. And it's not that the phone's connected to it, it's that the phone is, what do I want to say, hooked into the, into the web service or whatever you want to call it. There you go, it's unlocked. So it's a cloud thing. I mean, I could be thousands of miles away and unlock my truck, or I could be right next door, standing right behind it, and unlock the truck. But this is kind of my workstation. So I can already tell I'm going to need a wire crimper stripper. I'm going to need a drill driver of some kind. I do know that the shrouds I got up there the other day are just a Phillips. I do need to find my tool caddy. Here we go. Probably fill us up. Oh yeah, I haven't hardly done any work. So put that in here. And as far as my strippers, sure, get some electrical tape. Sure, let's get blue electrical tape today. I feel in a blue mood. And let me get these other wire crimpers. Sometimes I like to do that. And hopefully I can do this with all the colors because, I'm colorblind. I'll take the meter just in case I'm supposed to read something up there. I don't think I'm supposed to. Hopefully the sun doesn't hurt the screen on that too much. This garage is just a disaster. Sure enough, I'm probably going to need some other kind of screwdriver, so we'll put a flat tip in there. And we'll put a regular Phillips just in case. Can I think of anything else? Maybe a drill? Wonder if I need to drill anything up there. Nah, probably not. Okay, so I'm going to probably go up and down the ladder a couple of times, which wouldn't hurt because I definitely need the exercise. Get up there. Let's see what this is all about. Holy cow. That was a little bit rough for me getting up here. I definitely need to scrub this before we go. And I love it. I can survey all that I own. It's kind of funny seeing everything from up here. All right, so not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and open these things up and take a look what it looks like inside. It's kind of funny. They're two-piece. I'm going to tap it first. Make sure we ain't got no wasp nest in there. But I'm going to do the 15,000 first. Of course, I've unplugged the RV and I've turned off the battery, just in case there's some kind of residual feed or something going on there. But yeah, let me go ahead and take this apart. I'm gonna, again, this ain't going to be a step-by-step. I just want to show you guys basically what I'm doing. Yeah, there's a couple of things about this one. This one didn't want to come off until you separated the two halves. My old Coleman didn't have two halves, but apparently this one, you need to take it apart. And the other thing is I forgot to bring up some foil tape, damn it. So I need to either try to reutilize this, which may be difficult, or I'm gonna have to go hunt some down. I think I have some in the basement. Ah, there's something. This does not have a hard start capacitor. Can you believe it? There's not a hard start capacitor from the factory on this. I'm a little bit on the shock side, to tell you the truth. I don't know if that's the way it is with the other one, but I'm, again, shocked. I would think that they would put that in there. It's such a cheap item. And this is a weird compressor. Look how tall it is. It's nice working on something this clean, though, this new. The other nice thing about having a newer RV is, of course, you can read the wiring diagrams really clearly. And this is what it's going to look like if you have a unit kind of like this. By the way, what kind of unit is this? I guess that's probably what you're asking. It's a Coleman Mach, and this is a model number 48254C869. I took a picture of this just so I knew what the LRA, which is going to be on the compressor. But yeah, that's nice. Like I said, it's kind of easy to see what's going on here. All right, so here's what it looks like. I get it all buttoned back up again.
you know, the box is a little crooked in there, and it doesn't really make a difference. It's adhered to the wall. Then I put a couple screws. Now, they don't supply the screws. You got to supply your own screws, but not a big deal. That's it. It's all buttoned up. Had to double check, triple check my wiring. Good thing I did, because I did have something a little wrong. But like I said, this is pretty easy for you to do. Now, in this case, I have to wait until we get to the campground that we're going to go camping at, so I can have a pure plug-in 50 amp power supply, so I can let this thing learn, you know, learn its starts. And yeah, it's kind of interesting how this thing goes together, and I'll be interested to see how much it helps as far as starting. Of course, this did not have, like I said, a start relay or a hard start capacitor, and that's probably why the other, you know, the Champion didn't want to run it so easily. But then again, like I said, that Atima did. It's only 3,000 watts, so yeah. Let me go ahead and put the cover back on this mess, and I'm glad that I got up here. We had a few ants. I killed like 5 ants that were up here. I don't know where they came from. They're not around here. Must have brought them back from West Branch. Okay, so I've been up here for probably about an hour and a half in the sunlight, and I feel good because it's nice and warm. But that rooftop air is finished, and now this rooftop air is finished. They both have micro airs, so when we go camping, I will, you know, test them out. Of course, that's on the other video. So I'm gonna finish this out and go relax for a little bit. Okay, so I cooled off, I got that done, and yeah, I wanted to talk about our camping thing a little bit. What we're going to do is stay relatively local here, but it's going to be over in the Atwater Randolph area. I consider that Randolph more than I consider it Atwater, but it's at Friendship Acres. Looks like a pretty decent park. You know, typical private owned park. We've never been there. I think my parents had gone there at one point, but we'll see what it's like. And again, I'm kind of excited because I'm actually going to get to connect my hitch up again. How can I be excited about a hitch, you know? But I can hook my hitch up again and see if I've got the leveling part of it dead on where it needs to be. But we've got a lot of stuff that seems to be going on, and I need to be doing quite a bit of stuff here. I think I'll maybe take the truck for a drive, because I haven't driven it since, well, like I said, it was May 23rd. I mean, it was a while ago. It's definitely before Memorial Day, I do know that. So I'll go scrub the brakes, the rust off the brakes rotors, and make sure everything's still okay, which I'm sure it will be. So I'm going to close this out, go get the video edited and posted for you guys, and as always, we hope to see you out there. Bye.